Catrell. Sometimes I say it and it skips. Hi, this is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about this isn't negotiable. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay. So earlier today, I'm listening to podcasts, listening to sermons, reading the Bible, the whole thing that I usually do in my morning routine, along with like listening to some sort of audiobook or something that's educational. And earlier today, as I'm listening to these podcasts, I start to learn more about non-negotiables and what you should have as your standards and boundaries for your life. Sometimes I'll hear this old cliche term or this old term that people like to throw around in religion where they like to say, well, if you're a Christian, then you should just be nice no matter what's going on. Yes, you should be kind to other people and patient and all of those things that it says biblically. You should definitely inhibit the fruits of the spirit. And for those of you that don't know, it's in Galatians. So definitely look it up because those are things that are a real good guideline for how to have a good character, a good personality, a good well-being, your persona, whatever you want to call it. It'll allow you to be that person who is being Christ-like in your life. And also, when it comes to standards and boundaries, even Jesus had boundaries. Even God has boundaries. That's why he created different parts of the world, different things. Like, and when I say the world, I mean the stars in the sky, the earth. I mean putting things in different positions because they need their boundaries. That's why Jesus, when people was gambling and doing all the wrong things in the church, he was flipping over tables because even Jesus had boundaries. Being Christian does not mean you do not have boundaries or standards for your life. It means that you treat people the way that you want to be treated because what you reap, what you sow, you will reap. And also because you want to make sure that you are being kind to other people, not because you want to be somebody's doormat. So I just need to dispel that myth at the beginning of this whole video before we get that one person that says, well, you should just put up with whatever just because you're Christian. No, 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 no. You should definitely have standards and boundaries because God would never want someone to treat you poorly in your life ever. God never intended for you to be miserable and somebody's doormat and walked all over by other people, especially if we are all equal. There's no reason for you to have someone being superior to who you are. And I'm not talking about position wise because there's different positions in organizations for a reason because of structure. But that does not mean that someone is better than someone else. That just means someone has a different position. They're on a different level. And everybody grows and moves forward at their own pace during that due time. So I just want to make sure that I say that up front. So I have a couple methods that I think will help with making your life things in your life non-negotiable, and it's called darn. I know it sounds super corny, but I had to put it on some little note thing because I want to make sure that we stick to the schedule. So the D stands for do the best that you can. Sometimes we feel like we need to just be perfect, but only God's perfect. We really feel like, oh, if I don't do this 100% correctly, if I say the wrong thing, if I go the wrong place, if I whatever your excuse is for not wanting to be obedient or do the things that you know you need to do in life, that's usually what we say when we mess up, when we're starting a new skill, when we're learning something in life. When we don't do it 100% perfectly, we're like, oh, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't really like dancing anyways. I don't really like whatever it is, fill in the blank anyways. And the whole time, you not being an expert does not mean that that thing isn't for you. It means that you have to sharpen your skills. It means that you might have to spend more time learning this skill or learning new strategies or becoming better in whatever it is that you're intending on doing in life. So I think we have to give ourselves some grace and say, hey, we need to take our time to learn how to be maybe more emotionally intelligent. We have to take our time to learn how to dance better if dancing is the thing you're going to do. We have to take our time to learn how to be a better partner if we've never been in a healthy relationship. We have to do those things through time, and we will never be 100% perfect, but we will always be becoming better as long as we are putting forth an effort and doing the things to become a better person. The next thing is A. So A stands for about 3 to 4 things. And I learned this earlier in a podcast, but I think it's really helpful, especially in relationships or in life in general. There should be 3 to 4 things that are non-negotiable that you have in your box. Whether it's friends, whether it's romantic, whether it's family, whatever it is, whoever it is in your life, there should be 3 or 4 negotiable. Nah, I draw the set. I really, this really matters to me. Like, for example, if you're a person who says that you don't want to be with somebody who smokes, and let's say it's for health conditions because you really believe that, it'll harm you in the future, it'll be something that's bad for your lungs, having it in your clothes, on your teeth, maybe kissing someone that tastes like an ashtray, all of the things, whatever your thing is, the reason why, and especially if you know that it decreases your life or whatever else, like if that's your reason why you don't want to be with someone that smokes, or there's like a family member who passed away from smoking or something like that, and they can't say that's probably the main cause, but that's what led to it, then you have a valid reason for saying that you don't want to be with somebody who smokes. If you don't want to be with someone who is a different religion because it'll cause more issues in the future, then be with someone who's in your religion. You don't have to just specifically say, oh, I'm going to just bend my standards and values just because I think it's impossible. No, you should still have 3 to 4 values, 3 to 4 non-negotiables in your life for family, friends, and romantic people, so that you know what you will and will not stand for. Because if you don't have standards, you will fall and lay down for anything. You don't want to be that person who doesn't have a value, and when you don't have values, you start to devalue yourself and you start to become more insecure because you're allowing the wrong people to be a part of your life. The third thing, which is the R, is to remove the negative thought patterns. Sometimes we really feel like, oh, just because I'm saying this or I'm saying negative things, it really won't affect me. I could say, oh, I'll never be able to do that and I'll be fine. No, as soon as you speak it, know that you're speaking that over your life. You're speaking negativity over yourself. You're saying, oh, I'll never be in a relationship. Then you ain't never going to be in a relationship. Like, why would you say that for yourself? You got to think positively. And it's not just you. Sometimes it could be people around you. You're like, well, I speak positivity all day. I'm listening to affirmations. I'm reading my Bible. I'm really speaking life into myself every single day. Then you got that friend, you got that family member, you got that person in your life. All they want to do is be negative. And if you're listening to negativity all day, no matter what you're speaking over yourself, you're going to have negative thoughts enter into you. You're going to have those things determine your life. It's going to end up making you start to be a little bit more doubtful because of the things that you're listening to. And it doesn't even always have to be a person. Sometimes it could be a show. Sometimes you're listening to that show and all they do is complain about their lives. And the next thing you know, you're ungrateful for your life and you just feel like nothing goes right. And the whole time you're getting blessed. But you don't know about your blessings because you are just thinking about all the things that you don't have because of this show. Or you're listening to something. You listen to all of these negative things that are being said on this podcast. It could be, one of those groups or whatever that just wants to downplay one group or another. It's like, oh, all women are this or all men are this. And while that they are putting down another person, it's making you think negatively about that person, even if that's not how you truly feel in the beginning. So we have to be real conscientious of what we lend our eye gates and our ear gates to, what we are allowing to be around us, the people, places, and things that we are around, because we want to make sure that we keep a positive mindset so that we can have nothing but positivity in our life. If you want to be in a relationship, don't be around somebody saying, oh, all men are this. No, all men are not that. There are some really great, amazing men in this world, and I'm going to be with one of them. The man that God has for me. Like, I know that, no doubt. And even a job, if they say, oh, there's no good jobs, no, there's plenty of job opportunities. It might not be in this building, but there are plenty other jobs available. I don't have to work in this building to have a job. I can work wherever God says that he needs for me to be, and that's exactly where I'm going to go, and I'm going to be there with a joyful, cheerful heart, serving and helping in any way that I can. Whatever it is that's negative in your life, you got to dispel that myth. You got to get rid of it. You got to just let those things go, because that toxicity is contagious. And you never want to live a life that's less than what God intended for you, because you stood in your own way by allowing the wrong people, the wrong places and things to be a part of your life. You have to, if you want more, you have to speak more. You have to be around more, and you have to allow there to be only positive people around you. Or set a limit. If it's somebody you truly cannot get away from for whatever reason, then when you're on the phone, when you're talking to this person and they start speaking negatively, you gotta say you gotta go. You just have to go. Because you cannot allow that to seep into your soul. You can't allow that to be in your spirit. Because if you're trying to live a righteous life, if you're trying to live the type of life that's full of joy and peace and happiness kind of is contingent on happenings. So I don't know if I should say happiness, but if you want to have peace, if you want to have positivity, then you need to be around peace and positivity. Don't just expect someone who has nothing but drama to allow your life to feel peaceful, because it's not going to work out. That's not how it works. You really have to be intentional with the things that you allow to be a part of your life. The last thing is N. And the N is nothing. Nothing is perfect. I know I said that when I said do the best that you can, but nothing is perfect. But God. God got you and you got this. You know, sometimes in life, we will really start to think, you know, I really messed up when I said this thing. So because I messed up when I talked to my friend, when I talked to this romantic partner, now they'll only see me this way. But you have to give yourself grace, and you have to give that person grace. You have to know that that person is not going to be 100% perfect. You are not going to be 100% perfect. You have to allow yourself to say, okay, this is not for me. This is not what I want in my life. Or if it is what you want in your life, you have to allow it to be a part of your life. You have to be so content in who you are and making good decisions for your life that it doesn't matter if you're perfect or not. When you know that something truly is wrong, when you make a bad choice, it makes you more insecure. That's why I think the adversary tries to make us fall into temptation and end up doing the things that he knows is wrong. Because whenever you do something wrong, it makes you more insecure. It makes you feel like you're doubting yourself instead of believing in yourself. When you make good decisions, you know how good you feel. You be like, oh, I really did that. Or God really did that through me. Whatever's happening. I just feel so joyful and so secure in the person that I am, because I know I made the best decision that I could. Even if it doesn't turn out the way that I think it would turn out or whatever else, when I do the best that I can, it really does make me feel so secure in who I am as a woman. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, I wish I had done it like Sam or Jane. No, Trinesha did the best that she could. And so as I'm doing the best that I can, my confidence grows. My confidence gets better because of the non-negotiables. Because I'm saying I'm not going to compromise my integrity for anything in this world. Because even though it looks good, even though, and I don't just right away, let me just clarify this for everybody out there, because I don't want you to just think I'm just perfect. Because, like I said, nobody's perfect but God. Whenever there's a choice or I'm in a situation or a pickle, I had to be corny right there. Whenever I'm in a situation and God is telling me, look, you can have money or this, I'm not always like, you know, God, I'm on your side. I'm always going to choose you. Yes, I'm always going to choose God. But sometimes it'll be two things and God will be like, you could have this or this. And I'll be like, I be sitting there contemplating for real. Like, if somebody say I'm gonna give you like $1 million right now, and I'm just using $1 million as an example, you might not, if you've been broke all your life and somebody offer you $1 million and you know you trying to live right, you gonna probably think for like a good like 1 minute or something on that decision before you be like, okay, God, I'm of course gonna go with you, because if this person offered me 1 million and you multiply, you know, let's say 1 times 100, I'm gonna be 100 millionaire. I know that's not a thing, but you get what I'm saying. And so you just have to really think, what is it that really matters to you? Does your integrity matter to you? Does you honoring and respecting yourself really matter to you? Because when it does, your non-negotiables will be unmovable. That'll be something that no person, no place, no thing can come and disrupt what it is that God is trying to do in your life, what it is that you intend to have in your life. Because if you're believing for a partner, if you're believing for a job, if you're saying that you cannot be with someone who smokes, you cannot be with someone who is of a different religion, and you cannot be friends with someone who constantly puts everyone else down, then you have to stick to that thing. You can't just say, well, she had a bad day. And I understand people go through things, but I also believe that just because you're going through something does not mean you treat the people who love you badly. If that's what they always do whenever they're going through something, that's not good. You gotta have a real conversation if that's really your friend, and let them know, hey, this is how it makes me feel when you do this. And if you do this in the future, I'm not going to be able to be a part of your life. I'll still love you from a distance, but I can't be a part of your life. And sometimes it's really difficult because those are people you know for years, but your mental health is more important than pleasing anybody else in this world. I promise you that. I know sometimes we feel like it's difficult, and it could be like, I just don't want to let go of this person because I love going on dates with them. I don't want to let go of this person because this is the first boyfriend that I've had in a couple years. I don't want to let go of this job because it pays so well. I don't want to let go of whatever the excuse is, right? We try to hold on to these things that God is trying to tell us to let go of. And sometimes we just need to release it, especially if it's not serving us or the kingdom of God. We have to think, is me being selfishly happy temporarily more important than what God wants for my life? Is me choosing this thing going to really benefit the kingdom? Is it going to really help? And sometimes it be me. Sometimes I'm the problem. Sometimes I got to say, am I bringing out the best in this person? If I'm with somebody and God is saying I need to let them go and they're a good person, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't understand why you're telling me to do this, but if God is telling me to do it and I see this person declining or they're not being the best version of themselves and I'm not adding to their life, then I know I have to remove myself. I can't just be with them just because I selfishly want to be with them. I have to allow them to be the best version of themselves. I can't just be I can't keep things in my life for selfish reasons. So, when you have non-negotiables, you make better decisions because you know what you stand on and you stand flat-footed in faith, unmovable. So, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and just don't when you are saying that you want to do something in life, that there's something that really matters to you, and it gets so hard to feel like you can make a good decision because it feels like everybody else is doing something different, or you start to believe, okay, I am this thing that I'm standing for, instead of believing in yourself. Like, I see a lot of women abstaining or whatever else. I don't want you I don't want you to feel like abstinence is abstinence is the thing that makes you who you are, beautiful and gorgeous and patient and amazing, the way that God created you to be. I don't want you to ever feel like a title of being like a girlfriend or, you know, engaged or whatever is going to make you a valid, valuable person. You are already valuable as you are. Like, don't let that title of that thing that you think is important to you make you who you are. You have to know who you are so that if the title is removed for whatever reason, you don't get your worth from a word. You get your word from the word. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why I needed to say that, but apparently somebody needed to hear that. And I just want you to know that you are valuable exactly as you are. Just be the best version of yourself and be confident in who you are. You don't need a word to make you more valuable. You are already valuable. You are already worthy because God says that you're worthy. You might not be worthy of all the things that God blesses you with, but if He's going to bless you with it, receive it. Be like, all right, I receive that. All day, every day. You got to be like, okay. Just don't ever settle. Have non negotiables so that you know your worth, so that you do not lay down for anything. Because if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Don't ever allow anybody else to tell you who you are. You have to know who and whose you are at all times. Because people will try you. They're gonna see how about it you really are. Like, if you really about that God life, if you really about that self-love, loving yourself life, if you really about that confidence. Because your confidence can't be found in another person, it has to be found inside of you. So remember that. And definitely thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Oh my gosh. All right. There we go.